Hello there, all my friends. Today I want to make a special video for you because I'm actually celebrating my birthday, the 5th of October today. And incredibly enough, it's actually also my wife's birthday. I'm not kidding. We share the same birthday, so we are celebrating double. So I picked a very, very cool study. I've been sitting on this for a while. I want to make it a special video, and it's very complicated. It looks easy, only a few pieces on the board, but it's really hard to find how white wins this. So it's going to be a long video for sure, but I hope you like it and stay with me to the end. So, okay, white to move here and win. And it's, of course, important to find out how we win, but also to put the right strategy behind it. So, pause the video now, analyze this on your own, and see if you can find the strategy or the full variation on how to win. Go ahead. And welcome back. Okay, I'm going to start with telling you the right strategy. So imagine we had our pieces like this. Well, then the winning strategy is, of course, check with the rook, check with the next rook, king has to move, and then we win the queen like this. And everybody knows how to win from here. So that is the strategy. In order to make that happen, we need to keep the black queen on the eighth rank. If the black queen is allowed out somewhere in the middle of the board and start checking anywhere like this, it's going to be a perpetual check and it's going to be a draw in the end. Okay, so how to achieve this? Well, let's start at looking at some moves that are not right. If we play rook f7, something like this, black is allowed to leave the 8th rank. He has control over both squares here, so we cannot mate with putting a rook on the 8th rank. So from here, it's a very simple draw for black to achieve. Okay, if we put the rook somewhere else, maybe on e7, well, then we're allowing black to play the queen to g8. Now his control over these two squares, still control of the 8th rank, but more important, he has a lot of different squares to go to with a check and start his hunt for our king, which will lead to a draw. So we cannot play that either. Let's see what happens if we go to d7. Well, it's going to be the same actually. And you can also check here or go to g8. It doesn't really help. We can try something like this to escape. Queen will check again. And we're trying to escape with something like this. Well, then he has a very good little move here. Queen g7 check, which we cannot take obviously because of the stalemate. And it's a draw. If we try to move the other rook to a7, this is a very interesting idea because black cannot play queen g8. We are already protecting these two squares, and we can play king f1 to take away all the checks from black, and actually we will win this in the end, but it's way too many lines to show, so I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm just going to show what happens, what black can do. Instead of playing queen g8, it does this check. And again, if we try to escape something like this, it's important when we move the king to put it on the opposite color of the queen here, so we cannot get any diagonal checks. But he will have the same plan as before to end up with the queen on g7 check. Okay, so starting over, if we're trying to escape with the king first, king e1, it's in the same color as black, but he doesn't have any diagonal checks here. But again, he can play queen g8, and if we try to follow him like this, now he goes back to f8 check. And we know what happens if we go to the g file. The queen will come to g7 again, and we cannot take it. And if we put the rook in between, then he can play queen d6, and again covering both squares here for our rooks, and then after that he will start checking, and it's a draw. So the actual right way to start this is by giving a check. The king looks bad on h8, but actually we want him to come to g8 instead. So we're starting with this. So that's the first start, and it's going to be a long video, as I said. But again, I think you should pause the video and see if you can find out how we best win from here. Go ahead. Okay, here we go. So now, if we move the king, it's obviously a draw, because wherever we go with it, somewhere black will start checking and is out on the board with his queen, and we know that is a draw. And the same goes now if we move this rook somewhere random, then we allow black to simply leave the 8th rank, maybe go here, because we cannot check anywhere. He will take our rook, and we cannot win by doing some checks here on the 7th rank. So when the queen escapes, it's a draw. So basically we have to move our rook on the h7 square, and it has to go here to e7. Now the point of doing this is to block the queen out. Now look at this. I mean, he cannot move in the F rank, of course. Then we will simply check here, and we'll have to go back, and he loses his queen. And also, he cannot move the queen anywhere along the 8th rank, because we've seen what happens. Now we're going to win the queen, something like this. And sooner or later, we'll get the queen win, and the win in total. So the rook to e7 is brilliant. It forces black to move his king back to h8, but it's a little bit different from the starting position where we had our rook on c7. Now we have it on e7. And the question is now, how do we win from here as white? It's going to be a long variation still, but the next move is, and it has to be this rook moving to c7. The point of moving this rook is we still want this one here to block the queen out. We want this rook to cover the c4 square from a check. Now look at this. If black, as we looked at before, trying to play the queen to g8, there's a fantastic move for white that wins pretty quick, and that is king f1. And we prepared for playing this by having the rook on the c7 to cover the check on c4. Now, black cannot move his king, obviously. He cannot move the queen anywhere here, because we put either rook on the 8th square. And if we move the queen on the 8th rank away, well, we know what happens. We get our rooks here, and we win the queen like this. So he's forced to play queen f8 check. But after rook f7, he's running out of options. Again, if the queen moves away somewhere, well, we have the checks here, and we win the queen. And it cannot go anywhere else and cover everything. I mean, something like this. It's a check. We win the queen, and everything is done. So, moving back a bit. After we play rook c7, the queen cannot come to g8, and the queen cannot move up or away, so the queen has to stay. The black king has to go back to g8. That's the best defense for black. And again, now it's white's turn. So, can you find the right strategy to keep on winning, keeping on this variation? Well, this rook is in perfect position. It really blocks the queen. We got the king up here, which also blocks the black queen. Our king is in perfect position now. It's in different color than the black queen's square, so we cannot be checked on the diagonal. So we move this rook, and we can actually move it to two ways. Either to d7 or to a7 will win. We will not put it on b7 because later on we want to put our rook on f7, and we don't want black to be able to play queen d6 as we looked before and cover both 8 squares, 8 ranks checkmates. So let's play rook a7. We call that the key move, and we are winning from here. Because look at this. The queen can still not move if it goes anywhere, leaving the 8th rank. We will just check either rook here and win the queen. And again, if he moves away the queen somewhere, we know what happens. We will start checking here and win the queen from a check here on h8 at the end. So after rook a7, the king is again black. The black king is again forced to h8 and leave everything as it is. And I already gave you the idea. Now we want to play rook f7. We want to keep attacking the queen, stopping it from leaving the 8th rank. See what happens, of course. We will go down with the rook if he leaves. And now he is under attack. If he plays queen g8 here and wanting to check here or here, well, it's easy. Then we play the king to the f rank. Actually, either of these 3 squares will do. But let's keep the same strategy, keep it on different colors compared to the black queen. Now he will have to move the queen, and well, we will either win something like this, or as we looked at before, check and win the queen. So after we play rook f7, black instead will take his chances with a check here on e8. And now it's actually only one move that wins for white. Can you see it? Yes, we've seen it. We know how we do it now. We move the king to a dark square compared to the light square from the queen. And again, if the queen moves anywhere, we will win. Try something like this. We can just do another tempo move, and he's stuck with the same variation. So it tries again to get the king out, and now we win in a few moves. Do you see it? The check. Of course, you cannot go in here. We know how we do it then. Like this. So after the rook g7 check, the black king comes to f8, and now we put all the pieces exactly where we want them. Our king is on a different color than the square from black's queen, and now we simply play rook h7. The queen cannot check anywhere. There are no stalemate traps. We are threatening checkmate here, and if he tries to stop it like this, well, it's going to be a checkmate on this side, or at least winning the queen, which is good enough. And of course, if he goes back with the king to stop the checkmate like this, we take this rook, and finally we are winning this. So this is how we win this very, very complex endgame from the beginning, just pushing. This is the starting position, pushing the rooks a little bit closer all the time, blocking the queen out from leaving the 8th rank, and in the end we will win the queen, and after that the game. Oh, that was a long video, and I hope you stayed till the end, and I hope you enjoyed this Saturday, October 5th, if you're watching today. Otherwise, of course, it will be here for many years. So have a great day, everybody, and I hope I see you tomorrow again. Bye bye.